What's going on, good people? I'm just going over my most recent match. Solid match overall, but my first stage that I shot, which is stage 5, the last stage in the video, I was actually 10 points down plus a 3-point procedural, which isn't really the way you want to start your day off. But other than that, it was pretty solid. So I was 17 points down for the entire match. Again, 10 of those came from the first stage. I had another stage where I had 6 points down, where I started to point shoot a little bit. Another stage where I had 1 point down, which was on a drop turner, which I'll take. I'll take that all day. And then I had 2 more stages where I didn't have any points down. So on this stage here, it's wide open targets. The buzzer, you draw your pistol, you put 3 on each. There was a debate on whether or not after shooting the second target, I wanted to just run up to the final position and begin shooting, which would cause a standing reload. So I'd gain some time by sprinting up there, and then I'd lose some time with the standing reload. But then I'd also gain a little accuracy by not shooting on the move. Hindsight, I should have just shot on the move on the way up, dumped my magazine, reloaded, and then shot the final targets. I don't think I gained much time by running. And then being IDPA, the reload is going to be even slower, which I really didn't account for because it's from concealment. So you have to remove your cover garment and then grab your magazine. So looking back in a situation like this going forward, I'm just going to shoot my way in and then not have to do that standing reload. As you can see, when this starts, I had an issue. I have a really cheap holster that I'm using for IDPA because when I started, I had a solid holster, but I changed my gun. So now I don't have a gun for technically an IDPA holster since I don't shoot it that much. So the holster I was using, the shit is real slow to get out. So you'll see it's almost 3 seconds in this one before I start shooting. So I lost a lot of time there. But I'm going to let it run. Again, this is 3. This is stage 1, 3 per target.
Stand by.
So 3 to the right. See how long it took me to get my gun out? 3 on the one to the right, 3 to the left, sprint. That first target I'm shooting here is the one that I should have shot on the way up. So now I have a standing reload. We bang that. And then the final 2 targets. Didn't have any misses. That was solid with accuracy, but that could have been faster. On this stage, it starts at the table. You're going to shoot those 3 targets to that 6. So now something about capacity. So you can only have 10 rounds in your magazine when the buzzer starts or when the stage starts. So in a loaded start like this one where your gun is loaded, you actually put 11 in the first magazine because when you rack the slide, that puts you at 10 in the mag. So that means you only have 10 in your magazine when the round actually starts, which is legal. So I'm going to put 2, 4, 6 in these targets here. And then there's a second position where I'm going to shoot. Well, I'll just let it play and we'll talk about it when I get there. So 2, 4, 6. All right, so now I'm second position. There's 3 targets here. So you have to the left, there's a drop turner, which will present itself and then hide, present itself and hide like that. And then eventually it'll just hide where you can't see it. Right now it's turned sideways. It's all the way on the left to the right of that blue barrel. In the middle, you have a steel popper, which gets 1 round. And then to the right, there's an Iron Maiden. So there's a regular target, and then that black part you see is actually metal. So any round that hits that doesn't count as a miss. It hits hard cover. So because I have 11 in my magazine, I took 6 shots to begin, so I have 5 left. And the target behind the Iron Maiden is going to take 2 of those 5, which leaves me 3. The steel popper takes 1, which leaves me 2 to put on the turner. So the safe way to shoot this is to shoot the activator, which is the steel. The turner will start to move. You put 1 in the turner, as you only have 5 rounds here. So you'll put 2 in the turner and then go back to the Iron Maiden. Then if you have a miss, you can just reload and take the next one because you're not going to end up missing the opportunity to shoot that piece of paper. If you have a miss on the paper, so if you shoot Iron Maiden 2, so that's the target on the right, the steel in the middle, that's 3, and you have 2 rounds left. If you miss on the Iron Maiden to do something crazy, you'll end up not being able to shoot that target that's going to end up disappearing. So I did a little more risky, which saved some time and ended up working out. So you won't see the 2 shots on the turner. That's just the last 2 shots that I took, but you'll see my order. So I hit steel, over to the target on the right, and then back to the target that started moving. You can't really see it. Then on this side, there's just 3 simple targets pretty much out in the open. So on this one, I ended up on 1 point down. The point down I had was on the drop turner, but I'll take that all day. So that was a solid stage. Excuse me, sorry, getting over a cold. So this stage had a couple of movers on it. So it was really one of those things where you had to stand in the right position or else your angles were going to be kind of fucked up. So you can see how far apart my feet are to start. I stood like that intentionally because where my right foot is actually where I need to be standing in order to see the moving target. So to that, my left, through that first gap in the wall, there's two targets. There's a paper, which gets 2 rounds, and then there's a piece of steel, which gets 1 round. But that piece of steel is going to activate a moving target that's going to show itself and then disappear. So you get one chance to engage it with 2 rounds, and it's going to disappear, and you won't be able to shoot it anymore. So my right foot is exactly where I need to be standing in order to be able to see that target that's going to move. So once I start it, what's going to happen, I'm going to shoot the steel, and then right before the target comes out, I'm going to have just enough time to shoot the paper and go back to that mover. So steel, paper, and then right to the mover. And in the middle here, there's just 2 targets in the open. A couple things went wrong here. One, I started the point shoot, so I didn't have a hard enough front sight focus. I was target focused, which hurt me in my accuracy. The second thing is I should have taken this on the move. So there's 2 shots, and I need to dump my magazine to get to 11. So I should have just taken those remaining rounds in my magazine, dumped them on those 2 targets as I was moving to my right to gain some ground, which would have saved me some time. And having the extra rounds would have also gave me some makeup shots. So accuracy-wise, I should have been fine, but I played that too conservative. So after that, I'm going to go to the far right. So from here, there's 2 targets again. It's kind of almost a mirror image. So here there's a piece of paper which takes 2 targets or 2 rounds, excuse me, and then a piece of steel that activates a mover that's you're actually gonna get several passes, but it's moving really fast. But I only wanted to take 2 shots and then just stop. I just wanted to see kind of what happened. I think I ended up taking 3 on it though, but I got my 2 hits. So paper, steel, and then back. Again, you have to be standing in the right spot or you wouldn't be able to see that last target. So I was down 6 on that one. This stage is pretty straightforward. It's just a straight line. There you go. It's just a straight line. So behind those first stacks on the right, those barrel stacks on the right, there's 2 targets. You'll go 2-4. Again, you have 11 in the gun. So my plan was 2-4. The steel that's straight down in the middle, you can only engage that from behind that second barrel stack or the first one that's on the left. So my plan was to go 2-4 behind the barrel stacks on the right, put 3 into the steel, so I can shoot that on the move, make sure I get my hits, and then that would be 5 rounds, which leaves me with 6 more rounds. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I can't count. That's 7 rounds, which leaves me with 5 left. So the plan was to put 2 in the first target behind that barrel stack on the left, and then 3 on the next one, which will put me to slide lock. And then at that point, reload as I move to the last position. That last barrel stacked all the way on the far right has 3 targets, but I was going to take 3 headshots from up close. So I get here. See, that was 5 shots. So I had a makeup because my first shot that I fired, I didn't like where I was. I would have ended up with a point down. So I hurried up and took another one, which was fine. The problem is now that I took an extra shot, I should have adjusted my plan and only shot twice at the steel. But you see, I hit the steel 3 times. So that put me 1 round down. So I have 1 less round that I actually need. So when I get to these targets here, I only have 3 in the gun instead of 4 or 5. So what'll happen is once I get to the second target, I have to stop and reload, shoot the target again, and then move, which really cost me a lot of time. So yeah, gun goes dry, I have to stand there, reload, shoot it again, and then start moving. So I was down 0 on this one. So accuracy-wise, again, that was fine. But time-wise, having to stand there and reload really killed me. So I had to do a better job of being able to adjust on the fly if I need to alter my my stage plan as I'm shooting. So this is the first. This is stage 5, but we were in squad 5, so this is actually the first stage that I shot. So I was down 10 points on this one. Didn't really start off the day too well. And I had a procedure for standing over the line, so they added another 3 points. In IDPA, the lower score is better, so having extra points is not good. So this is an unloaded start. So when we were talking about magazine capacity here, I can only have 10 in the magazine, so I won't have 11 in the gun to start because once the buzzer starts, I can only have 10 in that mag. And since I can't rack around before because it's an unloaded start, it's 10. So on the buzzer, I'll grab my magazine with my left hand. I'll grab my gun with my right. I'm staring at my gun because that is the most important thing to make sure I get a good grip. I can see my magazine out of my peripheral still. So left hand on the magazine, right hand on the gun. Insert the mag, make sure it inserts all the way, and then you have to rack the slide in order to get one in the chamber. And then after that, there's two targets directly in front of me. One is upside down, so I have to remember that the down zero area is actually lower than it normally would be, and then the one on the right is in its traditional position with a little bit of hard cover on it. So 2-4 on that. Those two had to be engaged from seating position, and you couldn't take any makeup shots. After that, I'm just going to move forward and start engaging. It's pretty much 2 at every position except for the third one. Buzzer off, magazine in, rack, 1-2, transition 1-2. Get up, move to the first position. There's 2 shots here, then 2 more. Move to the next position. Now here I overran it, so you see me stop and readjust my feet. So 2 more there, next position, reload. 2 more targets, so there's 4 rounds here. And then I had an extra shot at this last position. It should be 4 shots. So I had that one extra. One of them was a head box, and I didn't like the way where my round went, so I fired another. And the next one, I put 2 in the down 0, but ended up down 10 on that one, which really started my day off in a way that I didn't like. Still managed to get 3rd in my division and then 7th out of 60 overall shooters. But I had top 5 in my hands. But you know what they say, if it woulda, coulda. My old college coach used to say, if a frog had a glass ass, it would break every time it jumped. So we can't count the if, woulda, shoulda, coulda. But either way, excuse me, sorry for all the coughing. That's kind of what I saw. I'm sure there's some other things that I'm missing as far as getting my gun up earlier, my transitions. Once I get that holster in, that draw issue will be alleviated. So that'll automatically chop some time off. But either way, if you see something that I didn't, please feel free to comment. I don't know everything. I'm just sharing the little bit that I know. So either way, let me know if you have any questions.